Hello, good evening, my dear YouTube viewers. Today I would like to keep the caste, a note on caste. What I covered, I will give it in brief in nutshell. During colonial perspective, the caste system undergone number of changes from past Vedic period to the contemporary scenario, so that its features are different compared with the past. Maybe in the aspects of hierarchy, hereditary, occupation, rituals, endogamous, purity and pollution, and social distance. Western colonial rulers in shaping they were influences to shape the caste system for their benefits only. Basically, the word caste belongs to the Portuguese and Spanish. The Latin word castus actually group, and it traveled through India, Malabar coast, mid 15th century. Some people will say it is the purity of blood, breed, or racial purity. Not only the group purity, racial, the larger area. In earlier period, colonial views, caste is totally associated with the religion and secular features. Jones has translated Laws of Manu. The caste system features are from Hindu Varna system and became popular from the modern point of view, particularly during British period. The Varna system divided into two, touchables and untouchables. Untouchables, another name is marginal group. They were mainly meant for defiling activity. The Varna system was originated from divine grace. This is a mythological story. According to them, from the Purush, the self-sacrifice of primal creator Purush, the four Varnas were derived. Brahmins from the mouth, Kshatriyas from the arms, Vaisyas from the thighs, and Sudras from the feet. Regarding order-wise, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya, Sudra. In earlier days, touchables are also integrated in the Varna system. So during Middle Ages, it was separated. Now again, it is mixed with one another. Now the caste system is viewed as a jati or varna according to Bitterley. Jati is classified category other than the race. It was mentioned by Mr. Srivastava. Missionaries and Orientalists were first groups to say or to study about the caste system. But these two groups they are thinking this is a hurdle, caste system is a hurdle that is not allowing to propagate their Christianity. According to India, the Indologists reinforced the textual view of caste, whereas from the Orientalist point of view, that is foreigners, particularly East Mediterranean points of view, it is a Oriental disposition and village republics. Dubis is telling Brahman has cleverly constructed the system, caste system, by turning a civil institution into sacred and immutable future of society. The Orientalists like Mr. William Jones and Max Muller are against to this phenomenon. They emphasize to understand the ancient Indian civilization in general, caste system in particular. The interactions with one another prescribed by the Brahmin community, particularly with the untouchables. They were encapsulated the social relations among different groups. From scriptural point of view, the ethnographic data is telling about the caste in the following way. The first war for the sake of independence and agrarian revolt against the British Empire. Particularly, it was done by higher caste people like the Brahmins and the Rajaputs. The one caste, here in the one caste, some conflicts had been taken place. Then Elphinstone made divided empiria. Modern institution created the possibility of spirit of nationhood. emergence of spirit of nationhood. Britishers came to know religion, caste, and other cultural aspects acted as the instrument to rule the Indian society. The British expertise thought that the revenue law, traditional law, and agrarian are so better to have the knowledge about their social situation, which is an essential for their administrative purpose. The caste composition is useful for the political reforms. From the colonial point of view, caste is an index of an wealth. The ethnography not only based on the equitable distribution of patronage and also facilitates the arrangement of direct tax. This was understood by Mr. Risley. The origin of caste, occupational profiles, rules of intercaste marriages, kinship structure, subcaste, within caste marriage, and funeral rituals, dress and decoration observation, all these features are observed by the ethnographers only. So, the colonial period, they divided the main features of caste are like this: hierarchy, occupational specialization, marriage rules, regulation of mechanism of interaction. Next, the Varna model was modified depending upon its rituals, what they practiced. Here, caste itself is divided into endogamous subunits. There are number of limitations for the social interaction among various castes: hereditary membership, marital restrictions, taboo on food and water, occupational monopoly, and the caste social relations. Jonathan Duncan described, polluted people are kept away from the higher caste community. They should not live next to the door of the higher caste. They should be away. Mr. Nair, as a scientist, when he wants to study the Nambudryas, he does not want to touch their bodies. Minimum distance he maintained, that is even 12 feet. Even after wearing the jewelry also, there is a discrimination. The untouchable should not wear all varieties of the jewelries, only limited. Even though they describe the reality but fail to refer to the discourse of differentiation. Regarding the attributes towards the caste, ethnography group marriage restrictions are related to their interactions and they are forbidden by inexorable social laws. Caste features are always influenced by the behavioral disposition. That is, it goes with occupation. Dalton said, Kayastha caste group people are physical appearance is weak, small courage but strong intellect. Rajputs are physical fitness and they useful for the military jobs. But they were known for the shooters or horse riders. Martial races suitable for the military because they mainly have the independent and thickened body construction. Example, Dogras, Rajputs, Punjabis, Sikhs, Gurkhas, something like that. Okay. The people before colonial period never acted as a village. They were acted as village watchmen. But when the entry of colonial rulers, the job was cancelled. As a result, they become the against to the Britishers. Those who were lost their jobs. At times they found distinction between the martial caste and the criminal caste, especially South India. Sometimes both have the same name. Both are the criminal caste due to their disloyalty towards the British. Risley has noticed caste should consist of the following points, features: collection of families, common name, common descent, ancestor, divinity, that is the divine God, some hereditary and belongs to the homogeneous community. And ethnographical knowledge is useful to understand their caste for their administrative purpose only. Higher caste people anatomical features are taken into consideration. Example, nasal index, width and the breadth. And also, therefore, sharp and straight finest nose people are at the top hierarchy. Oppositely, broad nose people are at the bottom hierarchy. In such a way, the discrimination had been taken place. According to Nesfield, caste classification depending upon their occupation. Example, allied to the hunting, allied to the fishing, allied to the pastoral, horticulture, agricultural, landlords, like this they divided. Next, artisan castes, presiding metallurgy, carpentry, trading caste, service caste, religious caste, like that. Sometimes, based on the skin also, we divided the caste system. Thin skin, narrow nose, Aryans. Thick skin, broad nose, non-Aryans. But Karve and Malhotra, they said no physical type of relationship. We should not take on such type of discrimination. Mr. Datta is telling, demolish the relationship between the caste and the race. Studies in Indian social polity he mentioned. Switch over to the caste versus judicial system. Earlier caste system was studied for the administrative purpose. Later they were used to promote the strength and the caste. Because they believe divide and rule policy. Here caste system division is a favor for their ruling. According to Enda and Dix, the Britishers thought that caste serves as a central symbol for India, core of Indian tradition. It acts as a single source for the identity and identical community, trading guild, temple and region, measured for the social life. Second variety, British rule brought some positive changes. According to Gore, focused on uniform laws, caste-free economic opportunity, modern educational system, removal of disabilities, and caste system. Caste system is not only useful at the judicial affairs, but for certain extent tried to minimize the civil caste influence, evil caste influence. Mr. Dirk is witness, indirect rule on land is through the mode of property and agrarian revolutions. There is no uniform judicial system before the entry of the Britishers. According to the caste, they are having the caste elders will be the judges. This is due to the caste differences. Earlier caste elders used to settle down the conflicts. Later some cases like the assault, theft, rape and brought before the court only. Later the institutions to individual cases brought before the court. Remarriages introduced in 1856, but High Court of the Bombay is not accepted, which is it is related to the non-materialistic culture, that is traditions, because it has given value for the caste rituals. Next, another change in the non-Brahmins is also allowed to perform the rituals at the temples. Very important. Non-Brahmins is also allowed perform the rituals at temples. Caste Disabilities Removal Act 1850 is favor to the caste or religion. There is no comment on civil disabilities. Conversion of religion is also allowed and introduced in 1872. Special Marriage Act does not allow any caste or the religion. These social disabilities arise out of civil disabilities. First you remember, social is different, civil is different. The social disabilities arise out of civil disabilities. Loyal to the higher authorities is civil disabilities. In 1923, the government introduced not allowed the funds to the educational institution when they were not allowing the depressed children into their schools. By that means, one should allow all types of children, touchables and untouchables, or else funds will be cancelled. Later, the prohibition of untouchables resolutions also established. It is not only for the education and also for the administrative purpose also this type of formula is used. The Brahminical perspective, the caste system, how it is. Brahmins incontinence, that incontinence is nothing but the pronunciation of the mantras. Incontinence of rituals are in Deva Bhasha or Sanskrit language. From the traditional theory, it is observed Varna or Jati Brahmins. Based on Puritan pollution principle, the caste system was surviving Brahmins and non-Brahmins. Varna Jati theory. In general, Varna means color. In Rigveda, the people categorized based on the Varna. Light color to the dark color particularly refers to the Aryan to non-Aryans. Based on the Varna, the Varna, Asrama, Dharma. Asrama means again divided into 4 stages: bachelor, adulthood, sannyasa, vanaprastha. First 25 years is bachelor. After that, marriage, 50 years. After that, leaving their family responsibility, sannyasa. And fourth one is vanaprastha, leave the entire house, you go to the hermitage, that is the forest. Next, apart from the Aryan classification, Shatapatha Brahmins described the 4 Varna class. In Purusha Sukta, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. Based on the occupations, division. Based on the Purusha Sukta, division. Based on the guilds are nothing but the earlier tribals. And also Daivi theory, that is the God only created the 4 Varnas like that. There are the 4 or 5 theories. From Mahabharata point of view, colors were faded from Brahman to Sudras. White for the Brahman, red for Kshatriya, yellow for Vaishya, black for the Sudra. Outside the caste, one should not marry. This is the general rule. Satyakama Japala. Here it is. If the particular servant woman wants to have a child, she should not utter her the counterpart person, male person, before the public. And Viswamitra, unknown parentage. Here it is that Brahmins in UP bear the close physical amenity features with the other Sudras Varna people, that is the Kshatriyas of Vaishya Varna from Punjab. So, even though geographically different, some physical features are having the common form, common stock. And then Bose is telling, soil and the planets is also responsible for the division of the caste. Varnas. White soil for the Brahmins because that soil gives the butter and astringent taste. Kshatriya's red soil, always the blood and bitter taste. Vaishya yellow soil, smell is alkaline and the sour taste. Sudra's black soil, taste is wine. According to the planetary Zodiac signs from Mesham to the Minu. Here it is from birth decide the Zodiac signs. Based on the gunas also, can is observed from Hindu Dharma Shastra. Here it is 3. Sattva Guna, brightness and intelligence. Rajoguna, energy, rigorous activity. Tamoguna, associated with the darkness and inactive or laziness. In Gita, there are the 4 Varnas. But according to Gita, 4 Varnas. But first 2 is different. That is the Sattva Guna, Rajoguna is accepted. But for the third variety, Tamoguna, that is the Rajaguna, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Tamoguna by Sudra. Here it is. Gita's classification is different. Hindu Dharma's classification is different. Britishers' classification is different. It depends upon their contemporary situations they divided, if I am right. These 4 Varnas are allotted. Brahmins read the Vedas scriptures, get alms. Alms means begging. From every day from 5 households. Kshatriya only for defense and administrative. Vaishya for pastoralism and agriculture storage purpose. Sudras for servicing. Here it is. At time of crisis, the social actions will be reversed. Sometimes during the Buddhist literature, the Vaishya people are also do the services like Sudras. Sudras also do act like the Vaishyas. According to Saraswati, Brahmanopatti Martanda. Here they mentioned the sixth day graded the Brahmins. Sometimes they will be only meant for the prayer, that is the as a pandit, and also for works like the traders and the cooks and sudras also. In case if kings wants to do the prayer, he should follow the norms of Brahmins. Even though he may have the physical power, but he should give the value for the Brahmins. Only when the Brahmin has completed his rituals, later only king should do it. Or else the Brahmins may curse them. Brahmin, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas are only eligible to listen the Vedas. And for the maintenance of the Brahmins, some land has given. That land as well as the residential area, what we call Agraharam, for their maintenance and the temple maintenance. In case untouchable entered into their homes, so for the cleaning purpose, they will be only after finishing their role, they should not enter into the main entrance of their house, they should go away. At an individual level, men should not grow 12 their mustaches and women should not wear the jacket. Here means twisting of the mustake, misal teppadgu. And also the woman, untouchable woman should not wear the jacket. There are 4 varnas. Under this, twice born varnas are 3. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaisyas only allowed for twice born activity, that is the Upanayanam ceremony. That is wearing the thread ceremony. That is the wearing the thread under the name of the Upanayana ceremony. Sudras are not allowed. Twice born means secondary birth. Then in Pali text, Jati means caste, but it was not observed in Vedic literature. Yajnavalkya clearly pointed out Jati and Varna sometimes get the synonymous, more or less like the synonym words. If the both parents belongs to the same jati, the children comes under the same father's jati. Then they can claim the father's caste. In case if the mother is different, we can call it as not jati, B-I-J-A-T-I, by jati. Then children should not claim either father or mothers. So they will be called as the apsar. In this way, different jatis are established. Niyoga. Just to have the children, they will have the physical conjugation with the man. So they should claim only mother's jati than the father's jati. Out of interest of the woman, only the male person will be allowed to have the physical conjugation. But she should not claim the man's jati or man's caste. Many Brahmins thought they were descended from the intellectual prowess. That is, what they call them Manasaputra sons. For this you can remember that Kunti is having the 6 children. 5 is the Pandavas and the first one is Karna. When she thought, after observation of the light at the air or the sun, she wants to have the psychological impression. By that she begot the children. So that here it is, without the parents' knowledge, with the parents' knowledge. That's why with the Manasu. So that's why what we call Manasaputra. And then some Brahmins said, born seer sage. There are some Brahmins claimed they were born only through the sage lineage. Sage means Rishi. There are 7 Rishis. From them they came. And their names are nothing but the Gotra's name. Then switch over to the purity and pollution. The word purity is derived from the Hindu scriptures cleanliness or Suddha. That was arranged in a hierarchical order. The nature of cleanliness at the pilgrimages, repeating the name of God, practicing the brahmacharya, continence, and asceticism, non-violence, ahimsa, and avoiding food, onion and garlic, non-vegetarian, that arrest the anger, lust, and the passion. So, some, according to the Walker, some caste rules are critical. If touches untouchable person by mistake or accident, birth or the death of the family, immediately it is needed purification activity ceremony or purification ceremony. Untouchables regularly perform unclean tasks. And then one should not close with them because it was treated as temporary impure, particularly delivery period. In this purification ceremony, again they will go back to the natural state, dip in the running water or the Ganges, or take the bath. Brahmins are acting as the agent between God and the people. They created such type of things. Food cooked with water is named as kacha khana, whereas food cooked with ghee or butter, pakka khana. A Hutton said soil-based pots are not completely clean. So compare with the bronze base. And also after using it they will throw. But bronze pots they cannot throw. Moreover, it is costly. In transient pollution, the occurrence of the birth and the death, near relatives should come under the defilement compared with the distant relatives. That is the temporary pollution. Higher caste people like Brahmins had less period of time this polluted activity compared with the other Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. And transient pollution, though the contact pollution had been taken place, external and internal. The external pollution is removed the physical cleaning. If glass spoon touched by the untouchables, by cleaning it comes to the normal. In case purposefully suddenly untouchable person touches the body, take the bath. Internal pollution means when a person consumed polluted food stuff, water or any substances. If a person belongs to the untouchable community, only comes under polluted person. But the process who belongs to this touchable caste and doing cleaning activity, it never comes to the polluted, under polluted person. Next, if a person collect the dirty clothes from the higher caste, he will clean and return to them. So finally, the person who is washing all the clothes, he is acting as an agent of purification. Next, impure caste should not live nearby the same premises. They should be away from the higher caste area. Radha Kamal Mukherjee described the features of social discrimination. Sitting against the common floor, it should not be there. Against the inter-dining, against the admission into the kitchen, against the touching into the earthen pots, against the mixing with the social festivals, against the admittance into the interior of the house, against the kind of any physical contact. Purity and pollution principles are controlling the interaction and interrelation. This is very important word. And dietary habits. Brahmins treated as the pure because they were take the only vegetarian. But exceptions are also there. Kashmir and the Bengali people consumed the fish and the non-veg also. Degree of impurity at various castes. Start from the pork, beef, mutton, chicken and egg. Pork and beef consumes the maximum impure. Later mutton and eggs is kindly 50% impure. Example, just like that I am telling. And then it goes with the eggs. Higher caste strictly pure vegetarians follows the monogamy but not the remarriage and divorce. Very, very important. Higher caste people never go for the remarriages and divorce. Inheritance of pollution. Many lower caste people suffered with defilement and impurity. After the death of the body by a man or by a woman, whatever it may be, cleaning is required. Along with this, nails cutting, hair tonsuring, all these things should be done by the polluted caste people. And Brahmins cannot accept water from the lower caste people. The reason is food was boiled with fire. That's why they were accepted for a certain extent. And the dividend portion. Guna theory. The guna is divided the Prakriti female and Purusha will be treated as the male. So here it is guna theory means male and female combination they want to express. In Sattva Guna stands for white substance, goodness, joy. Rajoguna, red substance, egoism, violence, jealous, ambition. Tamoguna, black substance, laziness, stupidity and fear. Finally, Sattva Guna for purity, Tamoguna for impurity. The Guna system is helpful to understand the Varna system based on their habits. Sattva-guna vegetarians, Rajoguna non-vegetarian, Tamoguna is both veg and non-veg. Okay, the lifestyle mechanisms. Brahmins reciting the chanting, performing sacrifices, good preaching. Untouchables, scavengers, tanning, deals with the filthy activities. Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, warfare, cultivation, herding and the trading. Caste system with the Jajmani system. The mundane relationship varies caste depending upon the giving services. There are two individuals are required. One is the services who will receive, called as the patron. Who will give the services will be called as the Kamin. Example, receivers are the forward caste people, givers are the artisan or the backward caste or the untouchables. So the mode of payment is how the higher caste people will give the mode of payment for the service providers. Maybe daily, weekly, fortnight, monthly, whatever it may be. Maybe kind form or the cash form. Regular exchange of services different from the occasional exchange of services. Regular means domestic services. Occasional means birthday, death day, marriage day, something like that. Okay. Kuda noticed several reasons for the Jajmani relations. When the absence of the specialist in the city, in their village, the service providers, automatically in the A village, service providers are absent, they will call from the B villages. In order to enhance their income, whenever the services are nodded, so in the B village, there is no work or somebody has called them, so that they are moving. By that they are enhancing their income. Third point is, sometimes the service receivers not happy, dissatisfied. At that time, they will call the specialist, maybe local or non-local. That is from the outside. Next, Kolanda is telling, Kamin, that is the giver, refound the following situations. In the absence of the specific caste who is acting as a Kamin, will be called as the other caste people to satisfy their need. Sometimes the caste person will not be available, other caste people will replace it. When a specific caste people are living common from generation to generations, the sociological and psychological, economic and other conflicts, joint family shifted to the nuclear family. By that, the Kamins never leaves. They want to continue to extend the services for the patron, because it is a loyal to work for the master. Sometimes the situations will change the caste Kamin. In the absence of the regular Kamin service provider, they will go for the other persons. Patrons may be Brahmins, barbers, even the washermen also. Now, due to the more number of specializations, the caste people are involved in Kamins. BC caste people are not confined to their own caste occupation. A washerman may not be the washing the clothes, and he also become the collector in a contemporary scenario because of the constitutional facilities. The Jajmani system is working. Mode of exchange, interaction and relations are three types. The service to service, service to goods, goods to goods, and emergence of the concerns of the caste system. The caste rigidity in three ways. Some common factors are allowing not to display the untouchability. Common transport, educational system, you should not show the untouchability. Reservations at jobs, seats, political field. Even NGOs are also extending to minimize the discrimination. Socio-cultural revolution is also observed through the Sanskritization, Desanskritization, Westernization. And McLaren is telling, Caste system, it is not only for strengthen their own people and economic exploitation of lower caste people. And as a result, isolation of caste stabilized both culturally and economically. Caste endogamous system is continuing because they are not allowing the other caste people. Later, there is a tough time that had been taken place Brahmins and non-Brahmins in mid-19th century. In Maharashtra, later it is extended to Karnataka and other areas also. So Behrens said, 1991 criticized Brahminical views. Brahmins' views are always universal, ritual hierarchy, cross-cultural comparison with number of caste. Then switch over to the modern area, Ambedkar and Lohia's ideas. Baba Saheb Ambedkar was a leader not only for Dalit and also for the nation. He has written the constitution and finally he followed the Buddhism. Ram Manohar Lohia, he worked for the minorities. Those are nothing but the SC, ST, women, minority, which are based for their constituency. Then, ideology of the Ambedkar. He found inequality in fundamental principle. The four varnas, the caste system, and also the status differences also there. He is against the Manu's principle, caste principles. Brahmana born with the mouth, all these things, he won't like it. Based on the Manu's principles about caste, even famine relief, money is also distributed. In case of the calamities, if the government wants to distribute the money, kind or the cash, again they are following the caste principles. This was noticed. It is not only here and also other occupational activities. And the occupations as interactions, intermarriages, and other ceremonies. He also noticed all these actions. But Ambedkar said, free social order aims to prevent the isolation, exclusiveness, because both makes the members of the class inimical towards one another. Inimical means inequalities. Interpretation of Varna system. Sometimes individual can enjoy the fruits of their own Varna caste. Does Hindu social order carrying the equality? No, not at all. This is the question by the Ambedkar. He opined, refused to recognize that all men are same, no matter profoundly. They differ individuals in capacity and character and equally entitled the human beings, considered and given respect to them. Finally, it can say, Hindu social order is against the equalitarian temper or equalitarian order. Finally, he submitted what Hindu people are following. The laws are existed in Vedas. That's why no human being can change in the existing laws. Genesis of the caste system. Ambedkar studied the number of definitions. That is the membership, decision making, rituals, occupations, economy in general, all these things. Mr. Sinat, Nesfield, Risley, Khatkar. So there are number of people have their own ideas about the caste system. But Ambedkar and other schemes have said caste is a isolated unit. This is 100% pakka. The idea of pollution is the future of the caste. He found Nesfield has focused about the caste system, absence of the dining, interdining. He found in Khatkar, two features are important: prohibition of intermarriage, membership of autogeny. And among Hindus, caste are endogamous, gotras are exogamous. In case if they do not want to follow the principle, they should pay the penalties. Ambedkar concluded, if man dies, wife is a surplus. If woman dies, husband is a surplus. Based on the mathematical knowledge, here in the society, they want to introduce, if the woman is widow, she should become the If she wants to alive, if she becomes the surplus. We do not want the surplus, we want the balance. That's why better to send her on pyre along with the husband. Like that, here also, in case in case if she is alive, widowhood remarriage is also not allowed. If she wants to pay it, it is also not allowed. So finally she should go for the death. If a man was lost the wife as a widower, he should be live as alone, or he should marry the girl who is not yet attained the puberty. Why? Because if the widower married the at a marriageable age girl, then the another boy is waiting with the same age for the marriageable age girl. So it is a problem, it is a deficit has taken place. So better to have the arrange the for the widower, not the unmarried attainable age puberty age girl, to arrange the marriage. So finally widower is allowed for remarriage, widow is not allowed for remarriage. This is for their mathematical principle. It comes under some principle, physics principle. Ambedkar thought the caste system once upon a time introduced by the lawgiver. Many people thought Manu was introduced before Manu's period. The caste system was presented. Don't think only Manu was the person introduced. Even before that it was there. From this it is said, Hindu system was framed in the caste system. According to Western scholars, it was originated, propagated based on the occupation, tribal organization, belief system, crossbreeding, migration. Ambedkar asked why caste system was not established in other parts of world. So here it is, Ambedkar said there are number of subdivisions. Unfortunately, each subunit left for the open class and strictly enclosed with the endogamous. Non-Brahmins always imitate the Brahmins. That speaks about the Gabriel traits law of imitation. That is, flow start from the higher to the lower order. Second, intensity of imitation varies inversely proportional to the distance. Understood in a sociological meaning. And the situations are two, from the side of the prestige and the daily relations. Some features like the Sati Sahagamanam reinforced widowhood, girl child marriage are confined in Brahmana, the higher caste, but not for other caste. In later stages, the other caste people are also imitated. Caste and the division of labor. Caste system provides the social status. So here it is for the industrial expansion, number of people are required. Caste group people are invited. So some people are rigid to utilize the opportunity. Many people lack of knowledge, they do not want to enhance their income level, so that they want to continue their caste occupation instead of leaving the caste occupation and go and join in the industry which is cancelled the unemployment, and employment will they be, industrialization will provide it. Lack of proper understanding about the worldly knowledge. The caste system is based on the dogma pedestration. Out of compulsion they are doing the job. And the socialistic pattern, how the caste system. Socialist thought economic reforms and annihilation of caste system brings the good results or benefits to the society. Along with the caste, social order, social status, religion and the wealth are acting as a major resources to attain the power. It is observed differences is not only in economic status and also caste and creed too. Annihilation of caste. Caste is not a physical object, it is only a belief system. If we want to destroy the caste means do not destroy the people, focus the belief. Forget about think about the belief, caste. Simply lack of knowledge, we want to bring the changes in the social order. Higher caste people had number of religious based social rights, as it is impossible to form common social system. Ambedkar wants to dismantle this type of caste system based on the liberty, equality, fraternity in a short within a democracy. So he wants to vision the ideal social order, very important word. There should be only one standard book regarding the Hindu religion. By that it is easy for to follow. Priesthood among Hindus was abolished. Stop the hereditary. In case if the person wants to do the priest occupation activity, he should pass the ritual based examination. Priest should have the permission from the law to perform the ceremony, or else it will be penalized. Priest should act as a servant to the state and educate the people with the morals. Based on the requirements, priests were selected on the state. Ambedkar said, based on the liberty, equality and fraternity, his idea was like this. According to Ambedkar, fraternity developed the sharing the experiences about the reverence of devotees. Liberty facilitates for the choice of occupation. Equality is not appeared to all men's physical and economic aspects. Whereas Ram Manohar Lohia about the caste, what about his feelings? He said, it is directly related to the division of labor. Centralized power on landlords, that too only applicable for the Kshatriya community. The priestly caste Brahmins assist to the Kshatriyas. Vaishyas for the taking into the pastoralism, agriculture, business. His idea only. Endogamous is the second characteristic feature of the caste system. Here he is telling caste and the Gotra. People should maintain the endogamy, that is within their own caste the boy and girl should marry. But not within the Gotra. Gotra should be outside, caste should be inside. Next, hence the production demanded that is the population of the each caste demand more number of laborer. Why? Whole family should involve. This is only whole family should involve in that division of labor. By that they can get the more income. So Lohia believes caste system is restricted to only Sudra. Here the leaders are not interested. Higher caste leaders are the scholars. They are not interested to think about the lower Varnas to protect them. In case if lower Varna people wants to acquire the higher Varna status with the help of Sanskritization, the society will be dysfunction of the society. More for this, the elite group were opposed. Dysfunction and annihilation of caste. Caste system acting as a major spiritual non-material barrier to develop the India. When the caste system is there, development is inversely proportional. He pointed out women, Harijans, Sudras, minorities, Muslims, Christians and Anglo-Christians, Adivasis consist of 85% of the total population. Even though they got the jobs and reservation, but still their culture will be, their background will be reflected on their positions, so they are facing the discomfort. The lower strata people imitate the higher elite group. Backward caste people refrain from their vices of the twice born caste. 2/3 of the BC people in India. The leaders create their ranks by themselves according to their voice, according to their rate of satisfaction, self-respect, fearlessness among them. These features are helpful to uplift their BC caste. He said, it is not possible to bring the changes in the feudal system and the capitalistic system. He wants to see the class capital. He does not want to maintain the capitalistic system. That is classless society he likes. Like that, casteless society he likes. Classless society, how it forms? When we provide the number of industries, all people will get the jobs. Then more or less equality has taken place with terms of income point of view. Casteless means intercaste marriages, inter-religious marriages, inter-dining will minimize the casteless society. So in this way he likes these two, casteless and classless. Low, then with reference to the census. The census contains the information about the people, age, sex, occupation, education. In pre-colonial states also conducted the census. Example, Manusmritis, Kalhan Kalhan was observed in Rajaniti Tarangani and in Akbarani, Muslim period also. Its main aim is to control the larger and diverse Indian population. Both caste and religion is useful to recognize the nature of the people, that is insanity, intelligence, desire, ability and fight for the army. But later it was progressed and the caste act as a key factor during 1871 to 1931. In 1931, they focused on the distribution of population, 41 economic status, 51 SC/ST, limited caste from the BC. So first time commission was found for the BC by Mr. Roy Burman. Caste census. The economy, migration, ecological differences helping for the formation of new caste, that is fusion, mixing or division of the caste, particularly during the period of unsettled condition of the Mughal Empire. The ST and lower caste people become the strong and they ruled their own area by themselves. The Rajputs and Kshatriyas dominated in their areas and they are given the chance for the Brahmins as a priest. Though subcaste may differ, but their generic name bring all people together. So example, All India Yadava Sabha, Akhila Bharatiya Nai Brahmin Mahasabha. So that meetings has given the opportunity, those who belongs to that community, they will come and they will discuss about their problems. Due to Western culture, education, all caste people lost their faith in their caste system. In 1931, out of 238 million, 1.8 million said no caste. Here it is. In Indian nation, Amrita Bazar Patrika, the Sanatana Adivasi meetings, they said the tribal names will be recorded, non-Christian Adimavasis are Catholic Sabha. 9th March 1940, at large meeting, the government declared Adivasi comes under Hindu category, Hindu religion. Several complaints came from the SC association, Sikhs, Jains, something other people, minority groups. Reservations are allowed for Dalit Hindus but not Dalit Christians. Very, very important. Religion name should not be different. Same religion, the religious based caste you should follow. Religion is one, caste is another, they never accepted. A report in the Inqilab in Lahore 1931, many Muslims are not included in the census. Later they arranged the new census by giving the equal status to the Muslims as a part of the nation. In Punjab, Muslims are against to the Hindus, Sikhs and refers to the Patwari bias of the Muslim. With regard to the Patwari, it is in a position to take care about the village accounts. The community-based census for each unit accepted by the special cases. Earlier, Britishers are not accepted this type of methodology. Later, lack of another alternative mechanism, they were forcibly accepted. In Odisha, there are 50% of the people are Odisha and other 50% people are Telugu and other groups, other language people are also. And the impact of census on a sociological understanding about the caste. Historically, anthropologists, demographers, ethnographers, ethnologists, sociologists viewed, intertwined and superimposed as a result no clarity about the caste system. Cohen said, caste is studied under the features of nature, structure, function. Regarding origin of caste, race, occupation, culture, ecological feature. Regarding the caste features, endogamy, purity and pollution. Regarding each caste system, subcaste, clusters, varna. Regarding the social status, according to their occupation and economic hierarchy. Regarding the mobility of caste, Sanskritization, desanskritization, westernization. Regarding place of caste, it is only caste system is applicable only or observed only in India, not outside India. Resisting nature of caste system is lower caste has always maintained the resistance compared with the higher caste. Finally, this census program is not only helpful for the economic, political, administrative purposes and also envisages about the various types of caste information, which acts as a important tool to mobilize the individual institutional development in specific, in general societal development, societal integration. By this, a brief note on caste system is completed. If possible, if you find anywhere other than the information, kindly add it. This is Bindu taking leave from the YouTube platform. If possible, do subscribe.